Scotland has a reputation for wild landscapes, serious weather, and midges. As an Englishman, I've always thought of it as the most adventurous part of our funny little island. Up here there's a stretch of ground that feels like it belongs much further north. The Cairngorms Plateau. At around a kilometre above sea level and on average the coldest place in the country, it is the closest thing we have to the Arctic. And living up here is an animal that in the grand scheme of things has only recently returned. Reindeer disappeared from these mountains hundreds of years ago, hunted out long before anybody thought about ecosystems, restoration or rewilding. In the late 1940s, a Swedish reindeer herder called Mikael Utsi visited the Cairngorms and thought these mountains looked a lot like a landscape he knew back home in northern Sweden. In 1952, he brought over 8 reindeer. Now that small herd became the beginning of a reintroduction that over decades has grown into a self-sustaining population of semi-domesticated reindeer living on the Cairngorms Plateau. I've come here to spend 3 nights in a tent to hopefully find reindeer, avoid frostbite, and maybe in some small way to understand what it's like to live up here in the UK's Arctic. So I know there's a herd of reindeer up here, but I have absolutely no idea where. And there's about 10,000 acres to scan, so it could take a while. So hopefully 3 or 4 days will be enough. First thing to do is to find somewhere to pitch a tent. Make hay while the sun shines, as they say. For me, making camp feels like a fundamentally human thing. We've done it for our entire existence. I think this here will have to do for the campsite. It's the only real flat bit I've found. You spend the day moving through a massive landscape, and then, in considering where to pitch your tent, everything shrinks down to a patch of ground about the size of a dinner table. Something very reassuring about turning all of those hours spent poring over a map into reality. And for a few hours at least, this little bit of snow becomes home. A thin layer of nylon and aluminium pegged to the ground are enough to feel anchored and safe in an otherwise vast landscape of snow, rocks and hidden pitfalls. I don't really know what the temperature is. With the wind it probably feels a lot colder than it actually is. But I would say this is manageable. I might be calling that a bit early. It's been quite hungry work marching around. I'm going to attempt to make some bread. A bit of water in. Oh yeah, that'll do, look. Bread making in the cold is harder than expected. The dough doesn't really cooperate and neither do your hands. It also turns out that GoPro batteries really don't like the cold. And I'm getting through them like hot cakes. So you already stopped. When did you stop? And why did you stop?
Well, it smells good and it looks just about edible.
Good effort. That is the messiest but delicious meal. Most deliciousest meal I've ever eaten. With the GoPro batteries dying outside, I'm thinking that I'm going to put these inside the sleeping bag with me to keep them warm and hopefully keep a bit more charge. I don't know if it's a good idea sleeping next to batteries, and I hope that they don't like leak on me in the night or something. Maybe I'll just wake up with loads of energy. So I've been up for maybe an hour now, and it's a total whiteout, so I can't see anything. Certainly can't see any reindeer. It's completely silent up here. All I can hear is the stove. All I can smell is coffee. It's really lovely. So it is now starting to clear, which means I can see a little bit more. So I'm going to start putting in some time glassing all of these hillsides. See if we can find some reindeer. Okay, so I'm going to try and find myself a high point and then sit there and scan the pants off everything I can see. I can see tracks in the snow. Yeah, they must be mountain hares. But with it being so white, they're impossible to spot, even if they do sit in their little forms. What's up there? Still quite foggy. I guess the thing about sitting still and hoping that they might move into this area means I'm not covering as much ground. And maybe I should be covering more ground and just checking every single valley that I possibly can. And I don't know whether just sitting here and scanning everything for a few hours might do it. Maybe I should switch sides and check another area out over here. Try not to get too cold. There's a hare, mountain hare, just sitting right in the rocks here. Let's see if we can get a bit closer without scaring him off. Oh, Jesus. It's also very slippery. How do they survive in this cold? I just can't understand it or can't believe it, how Arctic animals are able to survive in this environment, in these conditions. It's bonkers, completely bonkers. And this guy just lives in a little form under a rock or under a bit of heather. It's absolutely incredible. Go again, shall we? Try and be a bit more smooth about it this time. Try not to fall over. Rely on him to see that he doesn't move. I'm going to try and change angles a little bit as well. So I'm going down and round instead of just straight at him. I can actually see his tracks right here in the snow, and they lead straight back to where he is, which makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? Problem is, the more I sit here filming him, the less chance I get to find reindeer. I think we'll leave him alone now, make sure I don't scare him off, and we'll just leave him to hopefully hit some sun in a minute when it comes over that hill. Goodbye, little hare. You're very sweet. I'm a big fan. There's something I really love about searching for wildlife in this way. It asks from you a strange mix of disciplines. Whenever I stop, my feet tend to get very cold, so I think for the minute I'm just going to keep on moving. It turns the landscape into a simple set of questions, and if one valley doesn't bear fruit, you move on to the next, occasionally stopping to eat and warm up your hands along the way. Oh, I'm going to go and check up over the top of this ridge and see if we can find anything up there. The hard work you put into climbing ridges on tired legs is rewarded with vantage, and a new window onto the next valley below. Wow. And that always feels promising. Like the answer might be sitting somewhere in all the bits that your eyes haven't looked at yet. Patience is the game, which mostly involves sitting long enough for your feet to start complaining. Not just by turning up and hoping the animal walks past, but by sitting with the possibility that nothing might happen at all. It is really nice to have a new valley to scan. New areas to look for. Just grid out and scan the entire thing. I think I might be here for a few hours, just in case there's a little herd of reindeer just grazing down in the bottom of this valley. Oh. Come on, the reindeer, where are you? I'm wondering if they're going to be out in the sunshine somewhere, maybe a little bit lower down, having a little graze. That's what I would have thought they would be doing, is using the sun to warm up, because it is cold. That's what I'd do if I was a reindeer. Stay low in the valleys. It's probably slightly warmer. It's more protection from the wind. So where are they? I really thought I might find those reindeer down in this valley. So there's loads of little spots where it feels like if a herd of reindeer were going to graze, they might graze in all these little nice little bits of grass and a little stream that runs through this valley. I thought that there might be a good chance of finding a herd of reindeer, even a herd of roe deer or red. But I've seen nothing, to be fair. And it's just got really, really cold now, and the sun is just setting, so that might be the end of day 2. No reindeer. Some serious wind up here now. I need to find somewhere to put this tent up. Well, that was a pretty rough night. Wind and snow just battered the side of the tent all night. There was not a lot of sleep. This morning I've had a good scan here and I can't see any reindeer. It's pretty unforgiving up here, and I'm gaining more and more respect for all of the animals. I mean, there aren't very many, but all the animals that do survive in these conditions. Hats off to them. Like, it is rough. And okay, I know I'm not covered in fur, but even then, it is rough. It's cold and it's windy and the wind chill. It's serious. So hats off to them. So far I've been pretty high, and I've only really been looking onto areas with lots of snow on it. But seeing as how hard work it is for me moving through this deep snow, surely it's hard work for reindeer as well. So I'm considering losing some altitude, going down and scanning some of the areas kind of on the snow line where it would be easier for an animal to move around it. Oh, steady, steady. Okay, well, this is pretty much the edge of the snow line. There's snow behind me, but no snow in front of me. But what there is in front of me is an absolutely massive cloud. It has got a lot more wintry. I see a lot of clouds, I see a lot of snow. I see no reindeer. I still feel like there's a good chance that they are lower as opposed to higher. Why would they fight through all that deep snow when they could forage further down? Unless there's some kind of lichen that they specifically lichen. Unless there's a lichen that they lichen up there that isn't down here lower. My instinct is that they would prefer to stay lower. So I think that's where I'm heading. Hey, look at that. That's poo, man. I've never been so excited to find poo. Wow, and there, loads of poo. Well, what can that be if not reindeer? I don't think there are sheep up here. Oh, big disturbance in the snow here. Look at that there. There we are. Those look like tracks. Oh, there's loads of them here, look. All through here, they're here. I'm gonna follow this down the hill.
That's the most promising sign I've seen. They are definitely starting to get covered up with the new snowfall. But they're still here. You've just got to work a little bit harder for them. I've been following these tracks now probably for the best part of 3 miles. And I've just got to a point where they seem to be going now back in the opposite direction, and in every direction, to be honest, which makes life a little bit more difficult. But I know this is an area that they're clearly using. I can't carry on much more because it's going to get dark, and I need to pitch a tent.
There comes a point when filming this kind of adventure when you realise that the story might not go the way you imagined. Up until this point, I'd mostly been wandering around with a kind of quiet optimism, hoping that the animal I came for might be out there somewhere. But the tracks are the first real sign that the whole idea isn't just living in your head. Every slope and patch of snow now starts to feel like it might be hiding something, and you find yourself looking a little bit harder and being just that little bit more diligent, because now you know they're definitely here, and that they might not actually be too far away.
What are they? There's flipping reindeer up on the side here. I found them. It's so misty. I don't know if I'll be able to see them at all. Let's have a look. Where are they? Come on, don't panic. Don't panic. They're there. I really can't get a clear image. They're just kind of in the mist. But they've just walked. They're 150 metres away from where I just pitched the tent. That is bonkers. The problem is now that it's just too dark for me to get any good shots of them. I actually can't see them now in the mist, but in the camera I could just about make them out. But they're here, I found them. That is extremely good news. Wow. Let's just hope they're still here in the morning. I'm starving, I'm gonna go make some dinner.
Yeah, it's funny how quickly the glamorous side of these trips disappears. 3 days in the cold chasing reindeer, and now I'm sitting in a tent talking to a GoPro about my dinner, which tonight is pretty underwhelming. I've got stuffed pasta with chorizo, but no sauce, which probably tells you everything about how much planning went into food for this trip, but I just don't really care. It's warm, and it's calories, and it's good.
There's something black going on one of my toes here. It's very, very cold.
It's a little bit concerning, I have to admit. But hopefully it's just one more day now. We can get up, find the reindeer relatively quickly, go and get some nice shots of them. I just hope they haven't moved too far from where they were.
I'm going to go straight to where I found them last night and see if I can follow their tracks. However, that was probably getting on for 10-12 hours ago now, so they could have gone a very long way.
Look at that, that's reindeer fur. It's super fine and super soft. That is what's keeping them warm in this environment, because without fur, you would be buggered.
It looks like they're heading uphill. It is bitterly cold today. Come on, stay positive. Okay, I'm gonna need to take a break now, I'm knackered. I am going to scan this edge here. It can't be far up here, I can't imagine. Weather is closing in a bit here now.
There. I've got them. They are on the edge of the hill now. And they all seem to be coming this way.
I think reindeer in Scotland still feels slightly strange. We definitely grow up thinking of them as Christmas animals somewhere up in the North Pole, but watching them move through country like this, they just look totally at home. Now the Cairngorms don't exactly roll out the red carpet for the simple camper. It's cold, exposed, and it's fairly miserable if you are trying to stay up here for a few days. But that's exactly why reindeer get on with it so well. Heather and lichens grow all over these hills, exactly what they live off. All the tough little bits of life that hold on up here when not much else can.
They're coming right past. They totally look like they're meant to be here.
I count probably 60 or 70 in the herd. And now they're back up in these hills doing what they did thousands of years before they were hunted out, grazing through the heather and lichens that cover them. Whilst this herd is roaming free up here, they are technically semi-domesticated animals because the Cairngorm reindeer herd look after them.
They're super friendly.
And people often come up on the hills with the herders to see them. Probably explains why they're not in the slightest bit bothered about me standing here with a camera. But even though they're not technically fully wild, seeing a herd of reindeer wandering around the Scottish Highlands still feels pretty special to me. Well, that is absolutely awesome. I just hung out with a herd of reindeer in Scotland after 4 days of looking. Well, there they go. That's mission accomplished. I'm absolutely chuffed with that, I really am. That was totally awesome. What an awesome bunch of animals. Wow. I think I probably need to go and pack my tent down and go find a shower somewhere.
After a few days of wandering around up here, something becomes fairly obvious. That reindeer were never really the point. Which is slightly awkward to admit, given that finding them was the entire plan. I had assumed that throughout the last few days I'd be completely reindeer focused, but I've actually come away thinking much more about the place. A landscape that you would normally associate with somewhere above the Arctic Circle. This little exposed corner of Scotland does feel a bit like that.
I should probably get off this hill before my feet go completely black.
If you're willing to come up here and walk around in the cold for a few days, you might just stumble into a proper little adventure in a place that feels a lot further north than it really is.